It is Friday, it is clear, and it's a lot colder out here than it's been in a long time. I'm using this old Sigma 14mm f2.8 lens to film. I used to use it all the time, so if you remember this angle, it's nice and wide at 14mm. I kind of miss it. I've been shooting with that Sigma a lot at 24, and it's just kind of nice to see that wide field again. That's Rokinon, not Sigma. Rokinon 14mm lens. I'm going to use this big rig again tonight, the Esprit 150 on the EQ8R Pro, but I realized that this isn't exactly, you know, an everyday kind of rig for most people. I feel like I've been using it a little too much. I'm definitely obsessed with the quality of the images I'm taking with it, but it's not exactly a backyard telescope for a lot of people, so I'm going to go back to some more approachable beginner level stuff if you guys don't mind in the future. I've been using this QHY camera a ton because in my mind, I treat it like a DSLR with much cleaner data. That crop sensor and one-shot color, man, I just love that. I think that says a lot about the type of astrophotographer I am, because obviously with that monochrome CCD camera and a filter wheel, I could take better pictures, but I think I've just gotten used to completing a project in one night, and with these limited clear sky windows that I have, I feel like it's justified. I'm just having too much fun with this one-shot color camera. A lot of people ask me about the settings I use on the QHY 268C, and honestly, I've been using one of the presets, just the DSO preset, which is a gain of 102 and an offset of 76. I shoot everything at bin 1x1, get that full resolution, and I bump the USB traffic up to 40. That seems to work, and there's no delay in image capture or anything like that. It's kind of weird when you think about it, and I guess it's photography in general, but to people that are on the outside, they see all of this gear, all of this equipment, and it looks so daunting. But when I see this rig, all I see is the data that I see when I'm sitting on my computer, looking at the screen and really digging into the photos I've taken. I'm a processor first. It's what I enjoy most about this hobby, other than just the culture in general. You'll see me leaning towards equipment that gets the kind of data I like to play with, and that's kind of my guiding light for all of this. If you're doing astrophotography for long enough, in my case, nearly 10 years, you really start to discover the type of experience that you enjoy most, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. This is for fun. I mean, maybe you're going out to be the best astrophotographer of all time, world renowned, but that's just not me. I like the culture, I like being out here, I like the whole experience. So for someone to give advice saying that this is the way to go, this is the best option, you really can't look at it that way, because everyone should have the experience that they enjoy most. And that's likely going to involve a different set of gear than what others are using. So take it with a grain of salt when you get into the forums and you're getting advice, because you really have to feel it out and see how you can sustain the hobby long term and get the most enjoyment out of it. We spend our most precious asset, our time, with this hobby. So I think it's important to have the kind of experience that you enjoy. Maybe that explains why I still star align using the hand controller. So tonight I thought I would shoot something that I've never shot in this backyard before. It's been about 2 years. I was in the last house when I attempted NGC 281, the Pacman Nebula in Cassiopeia. So it's an H2 region, an emission nebula. There's some really cool Bach globules in it, and it's got a really dynamic range between that oxygen and hydrogen in it. So I think this Optolong L-eXtreme is going to be a great filter choice for this nebula. Also, it's a great image scale with this system. With that crop sensor camera and this 1000mm focal length telescope, it's going to frame it up just right. So this is going to be a really great detailed portrait of the Pacman Nebula, and I should be able to get a very decent image with just one night's worth of imaging. It's actually pretty windy out right now, which is good because I need these clouds to take a hike. You can just barely see Jupiter through the clouds, which is shining very brightly. Saturn isn't far behind it, and then Mars will be coming up a little later. Mars is going to be at opposition on October 13th, so it's going to be at its biggest and brightest of the year. So you should definitely check it out. I've seen some incredible detailed photos of Mars taken lately, and I'll definitely be taking a look at it myself. I should be able to locate and frame up the Pacman now. It's in the northern part of the sky, and there's no clouds there right now. So I'm going to take some test exposures in Astrophotography tool to frame this sucker up. Because the temperature really dropped out here, I'm running the QHY268C as cold as I've ever ran it. Let's see, it's at minus 23.7 degrees Celsius, so very cold. In here you can see it's running a live loop of 10 seconds. The Pacman Nebula is right about here, so framed up really nicely. If you're seeing those stars jump around, I'm just doing my calibration and PhD2 guiding right now, and then I'll be up and running in no time. I think for tonight I'm going to go with 4-minute exposures at a gain of 102. I'm up to over 30 sub exposures on the Pacman Nebula now, 5 minutes long with that 268C camera, and that's going to be a healthy amount of data to play with. So it should be a great image of the Pacman Nebula to share at the end of this video. Tomorrow we are going camping, and it's the end of September, so much cooler. I think it's actually going down to single digits at night. Ash and I love to go camping and bring Rudy along whenever we get the chance. We actually went last weekend, and I wanted to make a video because it was a dark sky location, and the weather did not work out. A huge storm ended up rolling through, and it was pretty dicey in that tent, and Rudy hated it. But the forecast actually looks a lot better for tomorrow. So again, we're staying at a dark sky location right on the beach. Kind of that last chance to get a Milky Way wide angle shot. The Milky Way core will be up for about an hour before it sets. So end of September, it's kind of the last hurrah at the Milky Way. And that's the reason for this camping trip. I'm excited about it. Some of the fall constellations are starting to pop up. I can see Taurus right now. I'm looking at Pleiades. Andromeda's high into the sky right now. Mars is looking so great, so high in the sky, so bright. So opposition coming up, and I'm really excited to photograph Mars. Earlier when I was talking about the culture and the rituals of astrophotography are what I love. This is part of it, just being outside and feeling and experiencing the changing seasons and seeing a new sky appear. And all the memories it draws up. I just feel like you're a little more connected to the whole rhythm of this planet when you spend these nights outside looking up at the stars. So that's something I never want to lose, and it probably means that I don't see myself just sitting inside clicking on a computer with everything running outside. I'll probably always be out here.